Welcome to the enchanting world of Mozambique, a land where warm smiles of the friendly Mozambicans, the bustling markets, and the vibrant festivals will envelop you. Get ready to explore the land where cultures blend harmoniously from the perspective of someone born in Mozambique. Let's start with the birth of a baby in Mozambique. Family members, including extended family and close friends, often gather to provide emotional support to the mother during labor and childbirth. In rural areas, traditional birth attendants, known as parteiras, assist with the safe delivery of the baby with their traditional techniques and practices. In some rural communities, home births are common. Traditional rituals and customs are often observed during these births. The naming ceremony in the Makua culture, where the baby is given a name, often based on circumstances or aspirations. It's called Nkwala and is celebrated with great excitement among the family members. In the Shangaan Tsonga culture, on the other hand, the Nzumbi ritual is considered very auspicious, which involves the slaughtering of an animal, usually a goat, as an offering to ancestral spirits. Shortly after birth, there is often a naming ceremony where the baby is officially named. The choice of the name may carry cultural or familial significance. In the Ranga culture in Mozambique, the Ndumba ceremony celebrates the birth of a child, which includes singing, dancing, and feasting. The Yao people, on the other hand, have an Ndambo ceremony, which involves traditional songs and dances to celebrate a newborn's arrival. Many Mozambican cultures have strong spiritual and ancestral beliefs. Rituals and offerings may be made to ancestral spirits for protection and blessings for the newborn. Birth is seen as a communal event, and neighbors and community members may come together to celebrate and offer assistance to the new parents. After childbirth, there may be specific postpartum practices observed, such as a period of confinement for the mother and the provision of traditional remedies or herbal treatments. Traditional songs, music, and dances are often part of the celebration, adding cultural significance to the birth event. Gifts and blessings from family and friends are common, and they may include items like clothing, blankets, or symbolic objects for the baby. Toddlers in Mozambique typically have close relationships with their immediate and extended families. Family is highly valued, and children often grow up in multi-generational households where they receive love and care from grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other siblings. From a young age, children are given household responsibilities and expected to care for their younger siblings. A large emphasis is placed on children respecting their elders, and it is acceptable for children to be disciplined by any adult family member. Education is compulsory in Mozambique for the introductory 7 years of it, although an alarming number of children do not even get this far. Following a period spent in pre-primary creche, which is optional, they may spend 2 years at Jardim Infantil, followed by another 5 at primary school, which completes the compulsory period. By the time that the first phase of secondary education is reached that will last for a further 3 years, facilities are already thin on the ground, especially in rural areas. Students are already 14 years old when they reach this stage, and many would prefer to be at work and earning money. Schools in Mozambique do not offer extracurricular activities. Students can join local private sports clubs or find other community offerings at their own expense. Parents in Mozambique support and help their children in extracurricular activities, but the initiative to participate in the activity must always come from him or her. Parents rarely arrange activities for their kids. Activities normally include soccer, netball, dance, athletics, basketball, English, and debate clubs. Less than 7% of potentially eligible young Mozambicans attend the final 2 years of secondary school, of which there are only 82 in a vast country. If they do, then they will follow a general curriculum, which may not be relevant for the life that lies before them. Higher education continues to reach only a tiny, disproportionately male sector of the wealthier population, with facilities clustered in the few major urban areas. In Mozambique, students generally take 6 to 9 subjects at a time, and each class occurs every other day. Mozambican high school classes generally have around 40 to 50 students. Socializing with friends is a fundamental part of teenage culture. Young people often gather at local cafes, music events, and sports activities to spend time together. Mozambican teens make most of their friends through their neighborhood connections, as well as their common activities. Friendship means brotherhood or sisterhood, people with whom they feel comfortable and who share common interests and activities. In Mozambique, greeting someone every day is expected, and it involves shaking hands, kissing cheeks, hugs, and conversations. Sports, particularly soccer, are immensely popular among teenagers. Mozambique has a vibrant soccer culture, and many young people enjoy playing and watching matches. In Mozambique, students are accustomed to living in large households composed of parents, children, grandparents, and sometimes uncles and cousins. Mozambican teens interact formally with their family members. It is rare for a Mozambican family to have a housekeeper or hired help. In Makonde culture, the Lapiko ceremony is held to celebrate a girl's first menstruation, which is seen as a transition into womanhood. Both sons and daughters are expected to clean their room, bathroom, do their own laundry, and contribute to the upkeep of the house as well. In urban areas, it's common for individuals to initiate dating through mutual friends, social events, or online dating apps. In rural areas, arranged marriages are still practiced in some communities. Marriage is highly valued in Mozambique, and many couples eventually marry. However, cohabitation is becoming more common among younger generations as they embrace more modern dating practices. Now let's talk about how weddings are celebrated in Mozambique. Mozambique is home to numerous ethnic groups, each with its own wedding traditions. These can include pre-wedding rituals such as the presentation of gifts and ceremonies to seek blessings from ancestors. Labolo is a traditional practice being practiced since long, where the groom negotiates with the bride's family to pay a bride price, often in the form of livestock or other valuable items. Music and dance play a significant role in Mozambican weddings. Traditional instruments, such as drums and xylophones, are used to create lively and rhythmic performances. In some communities, polygamy is practiced, allowing a man to have multiple wives. The first wife often holds a special status. In a family, both the parents are professionals and financially responsible for the family, and they exert equal authority in all household decisions. Family members are allowed to do their own activities and socialize with their friends or to relax, as long as they respect their curfew. In Mozambique, meals are eaten all together as a family. Mozambicans are very outgoing people who enjoy socializing. This makes holidays in the country extremely vibrant. Families usually come together to celebrate public holidays. Religious holidays are often celebrated at churches and mosques, with activities typically lasting for 2 days. It is also normal for people to dress up in religious costumes to mark certain holidays. In addition, national holidays are celebrated with specific themes declared by the government. Capelana, sarong typically worn by women, designs are launched around special days on the national calendar. It is also normal for all citizens to gather at places such as the Heroes Square to pay tribute to those who fought for the independence of Mozambique. It is possible that students will miss these vibrant gatherings with family and friends, the festive meals, and the opportunity to get new clothes made from capelanas in celebration of a national holiday. Among the most celebrated holidays are Heroes Day, February 3rd, Women's Day, April 7th, Independence Day, June 25th, Day of Peace, October 4th, Ramadan, and Eid al-Fitr are nationally celebrated. Family dynamics in the north of Mozambique are predominantly matriarchal. Women make most major family decisions and are perceived as the head of the family. Children in these families are seen as belonging to the mother and her side of the family. Mozambique has a history of traditional gender roles, where men were often seen as the breadwinners and women as caregivers and homemakers. These roles were more pronounced in rural areas and among certain ethnic groups. In southern and central Mozambique, families are typically patriarchal. Men make most major family decisions and are perceived as the head of the family. Women in Mozambique are also affectionately called mamana. An entire chapter could actually be dedicated to them when talking about Mozambique. We at least wrote a blog post for them. A typical picture in Mozambique is a woman with a child on her back and a basket on her head. Usually, they come from the field and go to the market. There, they sell what little they have harvested in the field to feed the family. It is the woman who keeps the family together and provides for the education of the children. However, in urban areas, especially in larger cities like Maputo, gender roles have become more progressive. Women are increasingly pursuing education and careers, and men are taking on more domestic responsibilities. Children are seen as belonging to the father and his side of the family. Once a father passes away, the oldest son becomes head of the family and responsible for the family's well-being. This family structure is more common in rural areas than in cities. The family cell includes more than the father, the mother, and the children. Uncles and aunts, nieces and nephews are also called family members. A traditional family lives inseparably. Its members settle in the same village and work on the same field. In the past, children were not allowed to live far away from their parents, according to the concept of inseparable family. The Malagasy language has no word for aunt or uncle or cousin. Cousins are all brothers and sisters. Aunts and uncles are mothers and fathers. Children belong to the whole family or clan, not more to the parents than to anyone else. Everyone is related in the very real sense that all the members in this extended family are truly in intimate relationship with one another. Most Mozambicans live in rural areas and are of African origin. The people of Mozambique are often described as calm and outgoing. Mozambican culture tends to be relaxed, favoring a slower-paced way of living. Most Mozambicans place tremendous value in spending time together. Wood sculpting is a very popular craft of the Makonde people, usually depicting evil spirits and totem-type family history. Futebol or football is Mozambique's favorite sport. They also tend to communicate indirectly. Negative emotions are considered personal in Mozambique and are not to be expressed to their friends or family. In terms of personal space, Mozambicans share the same living space and are very close with friends. They typically want to discuss everything with each other and assume that they are invited to participate in all family and friend activities. Mozambicans try to be punctual, but arriving 15 minutes after the agreed-upon meeting time is still considered on time. Elderly parents are supported by their grown children. Traditionally, they are perceived as beacons of wisdom, and they generally tend to live with the children after the marriage. Now comes the most difficult part of life: death. For a Mozambican funeral, the whole community mourns the loss. After the burial, family and friends of the deceased shave their hair and wear black clothing. They also don't go to social events. Mourners support the grieving family by bringing them offerings such as food, water, or firewood. Or they may offer to run errands for them. Burial traditions vary among ethnic groups. Some bury their dead in family or community gravesites, while others use mausoleums. The deceased may be interred with personal belongings or items of significance. After the funeral, a meal is often shared among mourners as a way to remember and celebrate the life of the deceased. This gathering provides an opportunity for people to offer condolences and support to the grieving family. There is often a designated period of mourning, which can last for several days to several weeks. During this time, family and friends come together to offer support to the grieving family. And that's a wrap. Let us know which country you'd want us to cover next. Don't forget to like and subscribe.